Hey everybody, I am Stefan with the Cigar Sticks Alliance, and today we're doing the live Herf. I want to apologize that we've started a little bit late here. We were encountering some technical difficulties that we hadn't planned on. Right now we've got on the panel, we've got Nathan Hale. Say hello, Nathan.
Hey guys.
We've got Scott from Cigar Noob.
Good morning.
And we have Sean Cunningham, who is our co-founder of the Cigar Sticks Alliance.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, JJ Reviews just got here. Jim and Jordan, we're live.
Hello.
Welcome you.
Thank you, guys.
Cool. So, if you guys don't know what a blind Herf is, it is where we take a cigar. In this case, we were presented with a cigar from a company. All of the identifying marks are gone. Nobody knows what the cigar is supposed to be. So, given the blind Herf, we actually go through the cigar and give our thoughts and whatnot to give a raw look at whatever cigar that we are smoking and give proper feedback to those who are watching, as well as the cigar manufacturer, who will join us at the end of this show. All right. So with that, guys, grab your cigars and let's take a quick look at it. Let's tour the cigar, see what we think. So it's a torpedo, kind of a caramel brown wrapper. I don't see any real major veins or anything, and the seams are rather well done. What do you guys think?
And that wrapper feels like velvet.
Yeah, it's very firm construction. The foot of it isn't open. It's got the wrapper leaf covering the foot there.
Yep.
Cute little detail.
Beautiful looking cigar.
Yep. What do you guys pick up with the smell here?
I picked up a nice sweet smell out of the cigar on the wrapper. Very light sweet smell.
I got sweetness, but a little bit of citrus on towards the foot area as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm picking up a little bit of wood, like a cedar.
I get cedar off the foot.
Yeah, I'm getting a sweet cedar off the foot here.
Yeah.
Not much off the wrapper. It's a really mild smell.
It is, and I think that it's because the foot is actually closed up and it doesn't expose any of the tobacco. I mean, not the filler or the binder. All right, let's get it cut up, guys, and see what the draw is like. Yeah, I got that caramely taste to it.
A little graham cracker off the wrapper, I think.
You know, I've been attributing that to a little bit of a brown sugar taste more than just the graham cracker.
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling some of the cedar out of it, but I'm still trying to build my my tastes out of cigars.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I kind of agree with that. I get it. That's what I get out of it is a sweet cedar.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree with that as well.
I'm more of
I
the
guess
graham
they're
crackers
from
when I'm
the graham
picking up
cracker,
out of
but
it.
that's the overwhelming that I get is the cedar.
Yeah, I'm with Jordan here. I'm picking up kind of the sweetness. I do pick up some of the cedar, but I'm really mainly picking up the graham cracker or the brown sugar.
Considering the foot's closed, it's got a pretty good draw on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Yes.
All right, guys, ready to light them up?
Yes, we are.
You betcha.
That smells awesome.
Nice woodsy taste on my first couple draws.
Yeah, on the draw, I'm getting the little bit of the cedar. On the retrohale, I'm still getting that graham cracker. It's interesting to me that emphasized the graham cracker.
I definitely get graham cracker out of that. When you retrohale it, you really get it.
I'm getting the cedar off of the draw, but the graham cracker is in the retrohale and kind of into the finish.
Exactly.
Get that graham cracker, and along with it, I'm getting a little bit of white pepper myself.
I'm getting some white pepper on the back end, but I get a lot of the cedar and the graham cracker on the retro, but I'm getting some of the pepper on the back end.
Yeah, I haven't had any of the pepper hit me just yet.
I get the pepper at the beginning of the retrohale.
Yeah, I get right on the back of my throat. So.
Good start.
Actually, really great start. Now in the back of my throat, now I'm getting some of that white pepper.
I think I'm getting the pepper as well. I haven't picked up the graham cracker yet, but on first light, it seems to be burning pretty well too.
All right. So, do me a favor really quickly. JJ Reviews, why don't you guys tell me what it is that you guys, what it is you do and whatnot within the community?
Well, we're both engineers at a local facility here. And actually we've just been smoking cigars together for the last year.
Yeah.
Both really just decided that I found out that we both smoked cigars about a year ago and just got together and started doing it. We just had fun doing it, and about 6 months ago we started talking about starting a review site.
Kind of just,
and
we were wanting to talk about cigars we had smoked, but we'd forget what they were.
Yeah.
So we decided to start kind of taking notes just for our own pleasure,
right?
And being able to remember. And then, like Jim said, we're just like, we could turn this into a website.
Yeah, just let everybody else benefit from what we experience.
So we smoke the same cigars side by side. We do video reviews, and then I do a written review that I post to the website as well. So if somebody doesn't want to take the time to watch the video, they just want to read it, they have that option.
Yep. All right. Nathan, he's with A Cigar's Tale. He's also a reviewer. Give us kind of a rundown as to what you do, brother.
Well, for a living, I work for an underground piping and industrial valve supply house. So fire hydrants and your underground water and sewer pipes, and I sell those. Like you said, though, I do have a Cigar's Tale blog where I take it. I believe that each cigar has a story, and starting at the beginning and going all the way through the end, I try to express that story the best I can. I would note that on this cigar right now, it's a really good even burn, a good smoke.
I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I'm getting a really even burn as well. It's razor's edge, man.
Very aromatic.
Yeah, that's
cigar.
a very nice burn. You can tell the construction on it is very good.
I'm not getting any real soft spots, although it's evenly filled. It feels like not hard and not even really all that spongy. Just it's got a little soft touch to it.
Very good draw, like you said earlier. I mean, the draw is just about perfect for me.
Awesome. I'm really liking it.
I feel like that cedar flavor is kind of becoming stronger. I'm getting more of the wood now.
Yeah, I'm getting more of the cedar. The pepper's kind of going away, and that graham cracker's going away also through the retro as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's smoothing out on the retro for me as well.
But
yeah, the retro is getting really smooth.
Anybody else getting like
creamy texture?
I'm
with
trying
it?
to use the flavor wheel here, trying to decipher, but I'm getting kind of like a nutty texture on the lips and on the tongue.
Yeah, I can see that. Kind of like after you've eaten an almond, how it kind of coats your palate.
Got some creamy texture to it. It's real creamy.
Yeah, I'm starting to get some of the cream into it also. The smoke texture is turning creamy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much so, yes.
I'm getting a little bit of a burn on one side there. I'm just going to let it go, see if it corrects itself. We'll see what happens in a couple of moments. I am tasting a smoothness in this smoke. It's I guess that's the creaminess that I'm feeling. It's a nice tasting cigar. The cedar is easing up a little bit. I think I'm tasting some of that graham cracker possibly. I like the draw on this cigar. I like a cigar, you know, to the somewhere between the firm and the spongy. This is giving me a nice amount of smoke here. I like this.
On that note, I mean the smoke production, it's fairly smoky. You
Yeah.
get a lot to
Yeah.
Not much comes off the foot, but you do get a lot off the draw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great curtain of
It's
smoke.
kind of deceiving too because the door's open today.
All right, I'm about an inch into this now. I don't know where you guys are, but as you guys have noted, it's smoothing out a lot. The flavors have changed a little bit for me. I'm still getting a lot more of the cedar, not as much of the graham cracker. A little bit of a nuttiness to it, and maybe a touch of citrus. But the citrus is mostly back in the back of my mouth.
Back, I was going to say right in the back of your. Yep.
Yep.
I'm feeling a warmness. Maybe that's the pepper I'm tasting in it. It's burning nice. I gave it a little tune up on the burn. We'll see if it catches up.
Awesome. How's it burn for you, Sean?
Burn's going nicely for me.
Awesome. Good.
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to try to go by, I don't know if everybody knows this, but I kind of created a script for us to go on so we can entertain you fine people out there. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, we're really actually fairly on time with the schedule here. I just wanted really quickly to bring up Cigar Note. You're an inventor, right? You've created a punch. Is that not right? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So Cigar Nub, what is that?
Cigar Nub is I'm an electrician by trade, and I was sitting at a cigar lounge just about a year ago, and I saw one of my friends there, Lincoln. He was using a toothpick to smoke the end of his cigar. The idea came for my cigar nub, and yeah, I got some tools in the garage and a little bit of aluminum, fashioned it up, and what I came up with is, I think, a pretty good product. I hopefully be marketing it real soon and get these things out there. It's been a lot of work, but yeah, it's kind of my second career. I'm just about done being an electrician and ready to move on to the next one. And it would be nice to be in the cigar industry somehow.
Yeah. Great. So, Sean, your turn. Tell us who you is.
Well, for me, I'm retired United States Army. I was medically retired in December of 2014. After about just shy of 15 years of service, three tours of duty overseas, 2 in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan. The irony of of how that links to this is I met Stefan 4 years ago, and through our discussions, we found out that in 2003 we were on the same deployment together in Iraq. Our paths just didn't cross, but we happened to be at the same base camp and everything together at the same time. So that's
pretty cool.
That's pretty much it for me. Since I've been out, I've been going to school. I go to Methodist University here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I'm currently going for a business degree in marketing.
Thank you both for your service.
Thank you both for your service.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So I want to bring up real quick. All right, let me backtrack real quick. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that. And IGY6, brother. Woof. So I'm picking up a little bit of a toasty, kind of like a bread. I don't even know how to really describe that. It's smooth. It kind of reminds me of fresh baked bread.
Maybe like a toasted wheat.
Something like that, yeah. Like you go past a bakery.
I got it.
Yeah, I just now started getting that toasted flavor in it, and it's really good. It goes really good with that little bit of sweetness in there.
I'm starting to think that Jordan and I have the same kind of palate.
Yep.
Definitely similar.
This cigar is kind of reminding me of one that we recently reviewed. Some of the tobacco in it,
Yeah.
how smooth and the toastedness is.
It was
Yeah. It was a Peruvian Puro that we had reviewed, and
Right.
this kind of has that flavor going on with it, that smooth, kind of toasty taste.
And the graham cracker, the Peruvian
Uh-huh.
tobacco has a lot of graham cracker flavor
Yeah.
and a lot of this toasted smoothness. So I wager that there's probably some Peruvian tobacco in the cigar based upon these flavors.
Yeah, just the way this thing tastes.
Yeah, that was going to be the next place that I was going to go. Is what do you guys think is in this cigar? I mean, the fillers or the binder, or even the wrapper. What do you guys think? Based on your experience, what's going on here? And you guys just answered part of that question. I think that there is some Peruvian in here, but I found that Dominican and Ecuadorian is fairly similar in its flavor profiles. Let me show you that real quick. Can you guys see that?
I can see.
Yeah, that's a great burn too.
Did not get any cleaner than that.
Yeah, that's a great burn.
I mean, it's all the way around too. It's not like it's raised up on one side. It's all the way. Anyway,
we've been reviewing some sticks recently that have the Ecuadorian Connecticut wrappers.
Yeah.
And it's got this really sweet taste to it.
Yep.
And
it's a lot better. It's a lot better than in my opinion, the Ecuadorian Connecticut is a lot better than the Pennsylvania or the shade grown. It doesn't quite have that green flavor that those Connecticut's sometimes have.
Right.
And that's kind of what this wrapper reminds me of.
I think you guys are dead on. I think the binder probably is an Ecuadorian Connecticut or an Ecuadorian binder also.
Yep. It's actually it's interesting to me that we're able to pick out the Peruvian and the Ecuadorian on this. I don't really know what else I could categorize. I mean, I've been smoking a lot of Honduran lately, and it's got a specific flavor, the Honduran. I'm not picking up any Honduran in this.
Mm-mm. No, I definitely think there is some Dominican in here.
That sweetness is what's getting me. I mean, there's a nice sweetness coming in with that wrapper. And, I mean, it's got to be from the wrapper because that's a really nice sweetness.
It is. And I'm still picking up the cedar, and believe it or not, it actually kind of changed from a caramel, from a graham cracker to a caramel for me.
I was going to say that about a half-inch in, that it was starting to taste a little caramely, but I didn't want to jump the gun on it, but it's definitely turned caramel.
Yeah, it was a transition from that creamy texture over into that caramel.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where it's not so much a sweet cedar now as much as a creamy caramel flavor, and it's really good.
But I'm still getting a little bit of that
great
back on the back.
This is really turning out pretty well. I'm very pleased with this cigar.
Yeah, this is a really good stick.
I want to know whose ash is going to fall in their laps first.
Not me, sir. Not me.
Yeah, mine already dropped. Yeah, I'm not going to even attempt to plagiarize you guys on where these tobaccos come from. I couldn't begin to guess. I am seeing the pepper taste I was picking up before seems to be going away, and it is a more smoother taste now in my mouth. It's very enjoyable. I like this cigar, and the burn seems to be catching up with itself. A little behind on one side, but not too far that it needs a correction.
Yeah, I think J&J is right on point when it comes to the filler possibly being Dominican and maybe a mix of Dominican and Peruvian.
Man, that sucker is really good.
It is.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys also noticed this. Have you ever gotten the the biscuits in a can roll? You know, the Pillsbury. You know, and when you make those, and you go to pull them apart, they've got kind of a layered stack to them. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what this ash reminds me of. It's kind of like that, where it's got those layers to it, and they're really close together. To me, the experience that I have when I'm smoking these is when you get that kind of an ash, it's really a testament to how well it's burning throughout the tobacco.
Yeah, and it burns great.
Now, again, I'm just guessing, but what you were talking about, I think I see the layers in the ash. To me, that means that it was mixed. The blend is mixed very well. When I see those lines going across the ash in an even manner, I think it's a nice roll-up job.
Yeah, I mean, I want to let it sit for a minute, you know. I find that I'm actually smoking on this a little bit more frequently than I should probably.
Oh, you too?
Yeah. Usually I'm actually drinking something with it. I'm pairing it up, and I usually have kind of a methodology that I go through where I drink something, every say third puff, but I'm finding that I'm not reaching for the drink. I'm actually reaching for the cigar.
I think some of that has to do with that torpedo thing.
So I'm going to change that.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I've been ahead of you the whole damn time, brother.
I'm here to tell you, alcoholics go to meetings. So what I did pour, just for everybody's knowledge, I've got some Auchentoshan 12-year. This stuff is one of my favorite scotches, my everyday scotch, if you will. Last time Sean was at my place, I gave him the last of my Balvenie, and I really like that too. It's kind of a light, fruity.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
I think that the sweetness that goes along with the Auchentoshan is going to pair very well with this caramel.
Yeah, I've got this paired. I'm drinking some iced tea, and I also have some lemonade. And one thing I like about the lemonade is the citrus kind of cleanses your palate between each puff and lets you kind of experience the flavors better. So that's what I've got paired with this. It's going pretty
You could
good.
almost just make an Arnold Palmer there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pairing it with the Jameson Caskmates. I find it goes really well with almost all the cigars that I've had so far. It's one of my favorite pairings. Someone's
just bragging now. Yeah, I picked up some Jameson cask strength. No big deal.
You're the one with the Auchentoshan. I can't find that here.
I pair most of my cigars with a cup of coffee or a bottle of ginger ale, and right now it's going with coffee. It's delicious.
I know, Nathan, you said that you're drinking water in order to get the purity of the cigar. Do you think that that's helping you identify what's really there?
For me, I think having water and not something with flavoring in it gives me a better ability to distinguish some of what's in there versus if I had something else that was helping that along. So I just prefer using water when I take the time to really break it down. But I'd like to also say I'm getting into the second, third, and I'm picking up, for me, a lot more cashew type flavor and nuttiness. And getting more of that bready kind of taste to it.
Yeah. I will say that after drinking some of this Akantoshan, that on the retrohale I picked up a lot more pepper than I had been. Kind of like every once in a while it picks up with a different flavor in the forefront, and as I go along here, it's a welcome change. You know, the change up. I really like that complexity in it. But
It's got a lot of really smooth transitions.
Yes, literal smooth transitions, but although it adds to the complexity, I'm still picking up the whole way through, still picking up that sweetness, the caramel, the cedar. I'm, you know, I'm almost thinking that it's not a cedar. You know, we often say that cedar has got a sweet note to it, but what other woods out there can you identify that is kind of sweet? You know, we've got white pine. White pine is really sweet. Oakiness is not really sweet. It's kind of got a smokiness to it. So when we're going through and we're trying to develop our taste buds, and this is more for Scott, as you develop your tastes, you know, I know this will sound really strange or whatnot, but the next time you're in Lowe's, go and smell the wood. You know, check out what kinds of smells you pick up, and you'll start identifying some of those in the cigars.
I don't know about
I appreciate that. I live in the middle of Los Angeles. It's hard to find a lot of woods around here, but I do ride up there.
Yeah, you guys got California redwoods up there too.
Now, a long ways from my house.
Yeah, but you still get redwood at Lowe's.
Yes, we do.
I don't know about any of you, but I'm actually getting a little like a lemon citrus off some of the ambient smoke that's coming off of this as well.
Guess who won the contest for the ash in the lab?
It's not me.
That means we can tap off now.
Yeah.
So far, yeah. I mean, it's a solid ash.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Very
that's
solid.
about where mine broke off. Was about 2.5 inches in.
Well, I'll tap off then because I don't want to wear it. Jim will wait till it's in his lap. He likes it. He hasn't smoked a cigar unless he's covered in ashes.
At times.
I will say
You've been the winner of that
That's
lately.
true. Throughout our reviews, we've had one of these days. I'm going to put together a video of all the ash falls that we've had. Because
Is that like
it's
a Cooper?
yeah, we've had quite a few of them.
So let me bring this up as a topic of conversation. As reviewers, right, some of our job is to identify for people who aren't smoking the cigar what kind of flavors we're getting and whatnot. And I've actually had some people give feedback that says, you know what, I smoked that cigar as well, and I wasn't getting some of the same flavors that you were. How would you guys suggest, I'll ask JJ first, how would you guys suggest new smokers or people who are trying to develop their palate, what would you suggest they do in order to develop that flavor profile for themselves?
Well, it's we had actually talked to Scott about that, and we've throughout smoking have found cigars that have a singular flavor profile to them, and that's how we were able to start kind of refining our palates, is to find a cigar that, for example, like the Brano Exodus Silver, the main flavor you get from that is leather.
Which I think is the easiest flavor to pick up. And that's where I suggest everybody starts. If they want to start picking up flavors, is start with that, because it's the easiest. It was always the easiest for me to pick up.
Yeah.
And then cigars like with nuts, where you have just a nut profile
Like
all the way through.
Ramon Buso Odyssey, I think it is like major nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that we try to advocate, is you get those singular flavored cigars where there are other nuances in them for the more experienced palate, but when you have those singular flavors, it makes it much easier for the new smoker to pick them up.
Right.
And for a flavor like graham cracker, that Peruvian Puro, it's actually only Peruvian Puro on the U.S. market. It's called Inca, and it was actually is a brand that started in the UK and became really popular, so they reblended it for the United States. But if somebody wants to find the graham cracker flavor, that would be a place to start on that one.
Yeah. I had some Incas. I mailed them all off to a friend of mine. I only had a couple left. I'm going to pick up some more of those. I really enjoy those Inca cigars. They're very nice.
They're very good.
And for picking up the flavor, Jim and Jordan, thank you very much for the cigars that you sent me, and it is a big help. I'm deciding which one I'm going to pull out next. That last one, I definitely had a strong taste of nuts in it. And this cigar I'm smoking right now, I'm probably just about ready to start my third of it, and I got a distinct flavor change already in the last bit of this cigar. It's very nice. It's getting a lot creamier.
Yeah, and Sean, just so you're aware, as I'm breaking into the middle third here, I am picking up more of the nut, almost a peanut taste to it, that's coupling with that caramel. It's like biting into a Baby Ruth, you know, that candy bar, where you got the nougat and you got the peanut and the caramel all kind of coupled together with a slight saltiness to it. That's kind of what I'm picking up, and that's what comes to my mind when I think of that.
Actually, I forget who said it, but instead of peanut, I'm actually getting more along the lines of a cashew.
I'll agree more with the cashew.
Yeah.
The peanut flavor is one flavor I can pick up very easily, and I really
He despises
I don't really like it, to be honest. It's just too much for me. So I definitely think that, yeah, the second third's got nuts in it, but I'm going to kind of go more with the cashew flavor on this one.
Okay.
I really like that toastiness all the way through this. I mean, that toastiness has been there in the background ever since the start. I really like it.
You know, it comes to mind that because I'm drinking the Akantoshan and the fruity and the profile that's part of this, maybe that's what's affecting the. I'm picking up the nutty, but maybe that's helping to change my idea about what kind of nut it is.
Well, that's what's cool, to have so many different people smoke the same cigar, because everybody's palate's different. They like something else, and then especially when everybody's pairing it with something else. I mean, a lot of people that smoke cigars are going to be drinking something with it. So being able to have all these different pairings will kind of give, you know, people an idea on what to expect.
Oh, we got our first viewer question. They asked, it's actually Peter Bond. Thanks for joining us, Peter, and asking the question. He says, any guess as to which country of origin it might be from? And we kind of covered that a little bit earlier, and we were talking about there was some definite Peruvian influences, and we think that either the binder or the wrapper is Ecuadorian, probably sun-grown. Anybody have anything to add to that?
I would say Dominican Republic also.
Hopefully that answers your question, Peter.
I'm getting very anxious to find out what cigar this is.
You know, before when we first got these, and I was kind of looking them over, feeling it, smelling it, I think I know what we're smoking. So I'll be curious when the manufacturer comes on and reveals it. Yeah. But I've smoked.
I've only seen them twice, so I haven't had that chance to do it.
It's reminding me of some other cigars that we've smoked recently that kind of have the same flavor profile, and just based upon kind of the assumptions we're making on the tobacco origins.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I will point out that even though my ash fell off, it's still burning really, really evenly.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent burn.
My cigar is completely caught up on the burn. It's doing well.
Did you have to touch it up at all, Scott?
I did touch it up in the first third, and it managed to catch up with itself. I usually light off with a single torch burner. or I'm sorry, a triple torch. I find a single torch burner works nicer for tuning it up. I can do a nicer straight line that way. And this one's doing well now.
Quick question: did anybody use matches to light up?
No.
Normally I would, but I didn't today.
Yeah, I used my jet line. Seems to burn a lot hotter, and I'm able to get the entire foot lit up a lot quicker. Although I found that lighting up with matches helps with the overall initial flavor. You know, it doesn't, because you're using butane or you're using some sort of accelerant. Sometimes that can affect at least your first few draws. And I really like it when, you know, I've got just a match going. Does anybody use spills? Or have you ever used spills?
Yeah.
Never used spills, no.
I've used them a few times. I'm a little too excited to light my cigar, and I can't wait. I'm anxious.
Awesome. Anybody else from the viewership? You guys have any other questions for us? Open that up and let's start seeing what everybody else thinks here. I'm really having a good time, guys. I want to thank you for joining me here. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's a great time.
Usually when I'm participating in Herf, I'm just doing it on Twitter. Sorry, go ahead. Say that again, Sean.
I'm just glad that we're able to open it up so you can get multiple perspectives on one item, and that way you can kind of see the spectrum as to where everybody is.
Yeah.
You know, I go to a lot of cigar lounges. I hit at least one different cigar lounge every week. I'm looking for different cigars that I haven't smoked. I also find, like I do on Twitter, is I can smoke a cigar and ask other people what they think of that cigar, like we're doing right now. And it's helping me to refine my tastes and flavors in these cigars. It also, like I said, it gives me the opportunity to try a lot more. And this blind Herf, I enjoy this. I've always wondered, when people review a cigar, do you know just what it is? A lot of times, and obviously you do. But I like this because we don't know what we're smoking, and I'm anxious to find out. I'll be putting a few of these in my humidor.
Sweet.
Well, my whole thing when it comes to the blind Herfs is that anybody who smokes cigars out there, everyone has their own particular preference, their go-to cigar that they smoke if they're in a pinch. But if you're smoking it blind, at least you're able to get an unbiased, fair, and impartial opinion as to what's in it. And that's the fair way to do it. I mean, if you know what it is, generally, you know, Joe Schmo off the street, maybe, you know, he may already have a bias in mind that, oh, I might not like that because it's not this brand or it's not that type of wrapper. But here, you really don't know.
Right.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate the fact, Stefan, that you put this together, because Jordan and I have been talking about that, you know, doing blind reviews. And because we have hundreds and hundreds of cigars that we could be reviewing, and we've actually talked about taking bands off and then giving them to his wife, let her just number them,
right.
take the bands off and give them to us, so we absolutely don't know what they are. And so I really appreciate you putting this together and inviting us to participate in this.
Yeah, as well as the manufacturer.
Absolutely.
For getting on board with this, and I know you say you have a couple more lined up. So I think it's really cool that we can kind of get involved more with the manufacturers on their cigars. And I'd imagine it'd be exciting for them also to kind of have their cigars blind reviewed.
Right.
Yeah, myself and Stefan, we've been working quite a bit on these, and we're hoping to have quite a few more coming up in the future. And yeah, so stay tuned on that, because we're hoping to do this a lot more often.
So that coming up, start thinking about some of the questions that we want to ask the manufacturer when he comes on. So, I mean, one thing that's forefront on my mind is like our viewer Peter Bond asked, you know, what really is in this blend? What comprises the cigar? And, you know, maybe get their perspective on what they were trying to present to the end consumer with this blend.
Yeah.
Or
And I'd
what
also
their
be
desired
interested
flavor
to.
profile.
I'd be
I'm into my
interested
final
to know
third. I'm
what.
picking up. Go ahead.
I'd be interested to know what the manufacturer gets from the cigar.
Yeah.
You know, as far as what blend he was going for, and if the flavors that he was shooting for are the flavors that we're getting.
Yeah, like what his desired flavor profile was.
Yeah.
Yeah, a question that I ask a number of manufacturers when I tweet with them is, when you're not smoking your cigar, what do you reach for? And the best answer I got was a nice single malt Scotch. But I do happen to like another cigar that they smoke, and maybe it gives them an idea as to what made them blend the cigar the way they did. And I
Thanks for
appreciate
reminding
the
me.
single malt, but that's fine. But cigar smokers probably smoke, or makers probably smoke other than their own brand too. And that's always a question I have for manufacturers.
So as you guys know, last Saturday I went to the Tinderbox in Charlotte, and Steve Saka, as you guys probably heard that name once or twice in the cigar industry, he was there, and I got to spend almost 4 hours with the guy. And some of those things actually were brought up about what they reach for and whatnot when they're not smoking their own cigar. And one thing that I found interesting was his perspective on he told us that he doesn't always smoke his own cigar as his his first one or whatnot, and it was very interesting to me to hear that, because my perspective, especially when I first started doing reviews, or even before that when I was smoking cigars, I figured that these guys, they can have all the cigars they want from their own stock, and why would they want to smoke anything else? And it was interesting to hear that they have to reach out for something else once in a while in order to expand their profile. I'm seriously going to ask the stewardess next time they fly over if I can have a drink.
I haven't really been hearing them, the airplanes, to be honest.
Me neither.
That's cool. That means that I'm picking it up and you guys aren't, that's awesome.
I'm into my final third now, and my wrapper's coming undone a little bit, just a little bit. And once I put my cigar nub on there, that'll hold it all in place. It's still burning. It's burning perfectly at this point too.
Yeah, I got a little break in the wrapper, but nothing bad or that's affecting my burn or anything like that.
Is anybody else picking up more of the citrus flavor on the draw?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting that almost, for me, it's almost like a grapefruit, maybe an orange. I hadn't really decided yet, but I'm leaning towards the grapefruit kind of citrus.
I'm getting
like flavor.
Like
that's kind of what
I'm
getting.
It's like combination.
It's kind of leaving on my palate kind of like a tingly feeling. Almost kind of like a numbness a little bit.
Yeah, I picked that up, and that's something that, going back to what you said about having a few of a certain cigar here in the recent past, that's similar to what I get from the same kind of thing there.
I'm not really picking up the citrus on the draw. I'm picking it up on the retro, though. You're right. It's kind of a little bit of a tinge or a tang to it.
I think, like Nathan said, maybe more along the grapefruit of citrus.
Yeah, it's just kind of got that, just a bit of that bitter, pithy kind of grapefruit to me.
It's like a little bit. It's like it's got that soury of a lemon, but the sweetness of a grapefruit.
Kind of like a peat.
Like a tart.
I'll
A
say
cigar
that
worthy of smoking it all.
that burn line is still just phenomenal. I mean, it's
yeah,
really good.
That's a good burn.
Yeah, my mind is completely even now.
Going back to the questions for the manufacturers, one thing that I'd be interested to know from manufacturers is you hear about different cigar companies that blend for different countries. You know, they'll use basically they'll use like the same base, but they change the flavor a little bit for different countries. And I'd be kind of interested to see, you know, kind of like Inca did. They have the blend in the UK that they released over there, but they changed it for the United States. And I'm kind of interested to know, you know, what they think the flavors for the United States is. You know, what is the American palate looking for more than other countries? You know, I know some people really enjoy a straight tobacco taste. Where is it the United States likes more of the different flavors coming in, the transitions, and things like that.
It kind of reminds me of pipe tobacco and having the English blends versus the aromatic blends.
So I sent the link off to the manufacturer. I'm going to try to get a hold of them and see if we can get them to join us. You guys about ready for that?
Sure. You betcha.
Yeah, I'm down to my nub, so I think we're about ready.
As I get smaller into the nub here, it is that citrus flavor is really starting to kick.
I've actually, after I said, you know, I needed to slow down a little bit, I did. I haven't even made it into the final third yet. It's because I'm talking more and I'm drinking more.
Well, I'm going to say that this cigar is a probably medium to full-bodied cigar. What's everybody picking up on strength?
I would say a solid, maybe
strength,
full, but definitely the medium area.
Yeah, I've got a strong medium. I'm not picking up full at all.
Yeah, I definitely say medium strength on this.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. It's a medium strength cigar. It's a nice cigar. Yeah, I have found that it's easier for me to detect the flavors that I can pick up with a mild to medium cigar anyway. Typically, I'll reach for a Maduro, and it's a much harder time for me to taste the flavors. This definitely helps. And the coaching helps as well.
Yeah, and I think that's actually something that I didn't bring up. I don't think I brought it up yet on this show, but for the newer smokers, you know, starting off with the Macanudos or the Davidoffs or whatnot, you know, these mild to medium cigars, I think it's going to help them to identify the flavors a lot more with those, you know, because you're not really picking up the strength, you're picking up the flavors more than you are anything else.
Yeah. And I know there's been some discussion lately, I've seen on Twitter, about whether or not strength affects the flavor of a cigar. I'm of the opinion that it does.
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely. For instance, you guys, I don't know how many of you have smoked a Camacho, but Camacho for me is, you know, it's all about the power and the strength of the cigar, and I don't as easily pick up the flavors.
Another, talking about kind of a milder smoke to be able to pick up flavors. If somebody's wanting to pick up a cream flavor, just to kind of understand what that flavor is, the Verena Farms Breakfast Blend is a great cigar to smoke for the creaminess, and that's a good mild smoke, and as the name suggests, it's a great morning smoke as well.
Yeah, that's another thing that some people have pointed out to me as well is the time of day or when to smoke certain types of cigars. I know a lot of people like the flavored cigars in the morning with their coffee, and then in the evening sometimes they like the sweet cigars as well in order to accompany some sort of dessert. I find that, you know, something a little bit more mild helps me out in the morning. Not necessarily a full flavor, but medium to full flavored helps me out in the morning with the coffee that I pair it with, and it just gets my day going. Whereas in the evening, I like the more full flavored cigars.
See, me personally, I can smoke a cigar like this any time of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a perfect kind of in-between cigar as far as strength and flavor goes, to where it's not going to overpower you in the morning time, and yet it's got enough kick to it to where it'd be a good evening smoke as well.
Yeah. I just picked up a lot more pepper on the retro there. I don't know if you guys, as it came down to the last third, if you guys are picking up any more of the pepper.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially on the retro.
Yep.
I think the tang I might be getting might be the pepper. It's got that tartness to it that I'm picking up, and I'm well into my last third.
Kind of a bite.
It's nice though. It's not too peppery. I've had some cigars that are too peppery, and especially as I get towards the end, this isn't too much.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a black pepper. It's kind of a white pepper for me.
White pepper is what I'm getting. White pepper.
Okay.
Somebody else has a little dog.
Or a neighbor.
That's the neighbor's dog.
I got 2 of them in my house.
My burn got a little uneven for a second there, and it's already fixed itself. I mean, relatively quickly.
I've been very impressed with the construction on this cigar and the burn on this cigar. And I really like the torpedo shape because everybody kind of likes a different draw. And with the torpedo, you kind of get to choose your draw as far as how tight or how loose it is.
Okay. Yeah, and it actually fits the contour of your mouth a little bit. It's kind of like a box press for me. The box press kind of fits my mouth a little bit better than some of those huge ring gauges,
Yeah.
Right.
That's something else that to point out is that the Vitola, for me, actually plays a fairly significant role in what I'm picking up, as well as the draw. Sean, a good example of this is when you had that Gordo, the huge gauge cigar, and it was a lot more to draw across the cigar and pick up all of the flavors and whatnot, and it was a lot more effort.
Especially, I mean, I usually pick up a Robusto, so going to a Gordo is.
I personally am in the Toro area, just because, a couple of reasons. First of all, it fits my mouth a lot more, and the draw for me is a lot easier. I don't have to work at it as much, and the smaller cigars, smaller ring gauges, like the 50, 52, 47, in that range, it seems to be the best for me.
And I like the Lanceros and the Lonsdales, and partly because you get more of the wrapper flavors. I mean, the bigger the cigar, the more flavor you're getting from the filler tobacco.
Exactly.
And I know it seems like recently a lot more companies have put a lot more effort into the filler tobacco they're using, to where the larger ring gauges cigars are more enjoyable to smoke.
Right.
But I know there for a long time, personally, I would never go for a 60 ring gauge cigar, simply because I enjoyed the flavors from the binder and the wrapper better than I did the filler.
Right.
I've recently given that exactly some thought. I just started smoking Lanceros recently. I picked up a what were they? They were post embargoes, and the Lancero I think is the finest of theirs. I really like the flavors I get out of that. It's a nice cigar. I think I picked up the other post embargoes, but the Lancero is the one I grabbed the biggest handful of.
You have brands out there that just any Vitola that they have is going to be fantastic. Where others, I'm a Robusto guy, but I do like certain cigars that are different Vitola. But then you do have brands that It doesn't matter which Vitola you're going to get; it's going to give you exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've also heard that, and I don't know if this is still true, but I know at one point in time, a lot of the manufacturers would blend a cigar to a certain size. And that was, whatever that size was exactly what they were going for.
Right.
And then as they changed the Vitola, then the blend would change slightly. And I know Robustos was mainly the size that they would blend to.
Mm-hmm.
Where in a lot of cigars, the Robusto you would get the best flavors out of, or at least the flavors that the manufacturer wanted you to get.
Right. So I've reached out to the manufacturer to try to get him to join us. Just waiting on him to respond and get in here with us. But just really quickly, I wanted to kind of recap our journey here. And things kind of started out how? How would you guys say it started out?
Started
It
out with a
started out
really
very
strong citrus or cedar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice woodsy cedar taste, and turned into a more creamy citrus taste as I got towards the end of it.
Right.
We got a lot of graham cracker at the beginning. Then when the creaminess came in, it turned more into a caramel flavor.
Caramel,
Really
yeah.
nice.
But it had notes of pepper throughout.
Yeah, slight hints of pepper.
Yeah.
Every once in a while now, I'm still getting, especially on the retro, more and more pepper as I get into the last third here.
I agree with that.
But it's still got that nuttiness to it for me.
Yeah, I like that toastiness is stuck all the way through there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a very, very good experience for me with this cigar. In fact, once we get the deal going, I'm probably going to be looking for more of these at some point.
I wish we had a close brick and mortar. Not a lot of those around us.
No? You guys in a lot of farmland up there?
You betcha.
Yep.
I think that Scott, I know that you've got quite a few brick and mortars. Sean, you've got a couple. I've got several here in Charlotte. I don't know what it's like in Mississippi for you, Nathan, but we've got quite a few to choose from. And if a brick and mortar doesn't carry a particular cigar, we've always got online that we can go to.
Yeah, I have found that to be an outstanding method for getting cigars. I like I say, enjoyed smoking a lot of different cigars, and many times I got to order them online. It's nice when they'll sell me 5 of them. That's a nice starting point for me. I don't buy a lot of boxes. I like to buy smaller amounts of cigars to keep a nice variety. 5 packs work fantastic when I'm trying a new cigar.
See, for me, sometimes when buying cigars online, though, you run into the issue of whether or not you're going to receive them dry. I've received cigars in the mail that are so dry they're cracked and pretty much useless when I purchase online.
I've even found that if you go into a brick and mortar, and you see a cigar that you don't know how long it's been in their humidor. I mean, it could be in there for a year before you pick that cigar up.
That's why I leave them in my humidor for at least a couple of weeks. That was advice given to me by some good friends here a while ago.
Because you can control your humidor. You can't control what theirs is.
No, and I have had exactly that where I brought one home and lit it up pretty quickly because I had to try one, and the wrapper falls off immediately and the cigar starts to explode. When they sit in my humidor, I keep it right around 70-ish. They hold together nicely.
Right. Now, Sean and I, because a couple of weeks ago we went to an event and they had a live roller. Somebody there actually rolling cigars right there, and they
Flor de
were
America.
Yeah, Flor de America, and they were really, really fresh. I've actually put both of the ones that I have up in my humidor, and I'm going to have to let them sit there for a couple of months to actually season and whatnot. And I feel like, sometimes you're really going to get some of that. All right, so I want to present to you guys the manufacturer. He's just joined us, Mel Shaw with M Bombay. Thank you for joining us.
Hello guys, how are you?
Hey, Mel.
Yeah, Mel.
Hello,
Mel.
Mel.
So everybody's really curious what blend you've given us today. You wanna reveal that for us?
That is Mbambe Kesara #2 Torpedo.
Hey,
Awesome.
just for the record.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Great stick.
that's exactly what we were thinking too.
That's what I was thinking as well.
We
Nice.
just reviewed an Bombay 2 or 3 days ago.
The classic Churchill.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
just from the way that this cigar was constructed, the way it looks and smelled, it's like, yep, this is especially as we started smoking it and the flavor profiles. It's obviously different than the classic was, and we've also smoked the Habano, but you can definitely tell it's unique to the M Bombay brand.
Awesome, thank you. I hope. I'm sorry. I was under the impression that I was joining at 12:30 p.m. California time, but it happened that I had to come here to Phoenix, and the thing got screwed up.
Oh, no worries.
And sorry about that. Sorry about that completely.
No, no problem at all.
I hope you guys enjoyed the cigar. Any questions that you have?
Yeah, we actually have quite a few questions for you.
All right, tell me.
When we were trying to evaluate what was in the cigar, the binder, the filler, the wrapper, and everything, we fairly quickly were able to discern a Peruvian tobacco, some Ecuadorian, and some Dominican influences. Would you say that is fairly accurate with this cigar?
Well, the filler is Dominican and Peruvian.
There's that Peruvian.
Yeah. So the typical characteristics of the Peruvian tobacco is it is very to pin it down. It is slightly sweet and the like floralness to it. That is a typical trait of the Peruvian tobacco. The Peruvian is a I guess the seco that we use, and it is when we age that tobacco in that sandalwood chests. You know, like after like a couple of years, you get that. It just turns into that more sweeter, aromatic, more floral characteristic.
Right. And I think every one of us picked up on that. I think that we also miscategorized the woodiness to be cedar rather than sandalwood.
Well, you know, like the chest that we have is cedar and sandalwood hybrid. So one plank is a sandalwood plank. The other plank is a cedar wood plank. So you know, like it's kind of like a combo. If we only use just either cedar or sandalwood, sandalwood alone kind of like turns into slightly bitter form.
Mm-hmm.
And cedar kind of like it's only if we use only cedar, then it's more you know, it turns a bit acidic. That is what our take was.
Right.
And so the hybrid kind of like worked better where it balanced each other.
Now, is the sandalwood used regularly? Do you know with other manufacturers?
I have not heard. I have honestly not heard JJ.
With smoking on
But,
TV.
Smoking
on TV.
Yeah, I guess sandalwood was tried by us first.
I can definitely tell you that it's noticeable. You know,
Yeah.
the wood
Very much so.
very noticeable. So
A question we had also was kind of the flavors that we were getting out of it at the beginning, kind of like a graham cracker, a little bit of a caramel flavor. There was some pepper throughout the whole. What exactly? I mean, is what we're picking up what you blended this for? Is that the flavor profile that you were going for?
The Kesara came in the picture. The Kesara blend actually was more towards that sandalwood aging. That was our main aim. Now, to portray that flavor profile, we had to play with a tobacco which is not on the more chocolatey side. We want that tobacco to be more on the spicier tone, more woodsy tone. So that is the reason we chose with the Ecuadorian wrapper, and then we started working the blend based on the wrapper, where we wanted to emphasize on the aging process, the curing process of the tobacco, the aging process of the tobacco. And after we age after the cigars are rolled, all of the Quesera lines, they sit in the cedar chests for around a year to year and a half before we put it in the market. So, you know, like, and on top of it, what we have done is, like, these cigars come in a can, and the cans are, we have lined the cans with Brazilian cedar, Brazilian grown cedar. So it kind of like, it adds that to the characteristic of the cigar.
So I have a follow-up question for you, Mel.
Yes.
Is 1 year about the typical aging time that you have for your cigars?
Can you repeat that? I missed it.
So how long do you typically age your cigars for? How long do you season them?
You mean after we roll the cigars?
Yes.
Well, it totally depends on blend to blend. The Quesera is aged the longest. We sit on it for almost like 13 to 14 months, easily. The Mora is for around like 8 months to like 9.5 months. The classics goes the classic line goes in for like six months. Habano also 6 months. Corojo Oscuro is slightly longer, like around 7-8 months.
Awesome.
That's very. I'm kind of surprised because we just smoked that classic Churchill.
Yeah.
That you only age it for 6 months, because we picked up some really nicely aged flavored tobacco in that. The tobacco was really smooth and had kind of an aged flavor to it.
John, what it is the tobacco used is for classic blend. We use the wrapper is from 2001, 2002. The fillers are probably in 2007, the vintage of 2007. Now, before we roll the cigars, or before we age the rolled cigars for 6 months, the tobacco is aged in the cedar and sandalwood boxes for good 2.5 years.
Okay.
2 to 2.5 years, and after that we roll it.
Cool.
So, you know, like, you have hello. કેમ છો મેમ?
તું આવ્યો છો?
Yeah.
મજામાં છે?
Yeah, એકદમ મજામાં.
શું શીખવાડે છોકરાઓ?
બસ, they are outside, playing.
Oh.
Yeah.
અને મમ્મી ને લોકો જણાય?
Nah, they are still at the motor person. Yeah.
એટલે બધા ચારે છે મોટેલ પર, એ તો મને ખબર છે,
Yeah.
પણ મમ્મી પપ્પા
ના, અહીંયા નથી આયા.
આવજે ઘેર ને.
આ જોયા હવે, કાલ સવારે નીકળવું છે મારે.
એવું છે.
Yeah.
બાકી તો ઓલરાઈટ.
બસ
પૂજા કેમ આવી ગઈ?
I guess Pooja is Aruma. I'm sorry, guys.
No worries.
I had to attend a family thing, so I'm sorry for that.
It's okay. So I have another question for you. Is there a specific flavor profile that you were shooting for when you were creating, designing, and blending the Quesera? I know that Quesera means saffron in the Hindi Sanskrit. Were you trying to mold something toward the more spicy? You had mentioned spice in it, but was there something specific that you were trying to go for, maybe a saffron feel for it?
No, what it is when we age the tobacco in the sandalwood, that for the off note that we receive is more towards saffronish kind of tone or flavor profile. And that is where we kind of like we focused ourselves how to emphasize that flavor profile and create a blend according to that. So the sandalwood aging was a keynote in the making of the blend.
Okay. Anybody have a question to ask Mel?
I have a comment more than a question.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
My first Bombays, I think I drove about 60 or 70 miles each way to go get some.
Oh my God! Thank you.
Absolutely. My comment to you is I really like on social media the way you guys post manufacturers and distributors that sell your cigars. It gives us out here a chance, and I live in the Los Angeles area, so I've been to Fame, I've been to Genuine Cigars, and I found some in La Brea that are even closer.
Right.
But the way that you list distributors along with your cigars, and the photography is fantastic. I really do enjoy your cigars.
How we take it, Scott, is if they are not there, we are not there. So that the utmost respect comes to is for the retailers, which at this stage they are supporting us, they're trusting us, so they come first and then everything else.
And you guys push them fantastically. Like I said, it gives us a lot of ways to find them.
Good.
I'll drive a long way to get a cigar. I have no problem with doing that. But it's nice
Scott,
to find out that they're close.
Sooner or later we'll get something closer to your home. Trust me, buddy.
Oh, I enjoy going for a ride.
No, thank you.
All right. Anybody have any other questions?
I got hit on with these. These are excellent cigars.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Absolutely. We've collectively really enjoyed this blend. I really appreciate you guys creating this for us. I will definitely be looking for these in the brick and mortars close to me. I think that the closest one that I have is in Boiling Springs.
Right.
So I'll have to be on the lookout and go to that brick and mortar every time I'm looking for these. That, or I'll jump the gun and I'll actually just order them online.
Well, there is nothing wrong in ordering online, but we have a couple of retailers that think outside the box, and more power to them. They have great websites. They stock all of our lines. But as I said, if you don't have a retailer, we are a newer company, and it's hard to get brokers or the representation throughout. For what we want, it's a growing pains kind of thing, go step by step. So one day we'll be near your house for sure.
Sure.
Well, Stefan, next time you go to Boiling Springs, I'll contract out to you so you can pick me up a couple.
All right.
Good.
Thank you very much, Mel, for generously giving these to us to blind review. We appreciate it.
I hope you actually Stefan came up with this idea. I was lucky to catch it kind of because it was really cool. Nobody has done it ever, so it kind of I grabbed the opportunity that Stefan gave me. So that's cool. All kudos to Stefan.
We definitely feel honored to be part of this. So.
Good.
Yeah, I wish.
Nathan, how are you doing, buddy?
Go ahead.
You're not. I guess you talk too much on the phone and you don't talk on the video.
I'm doing good.
Good.
One last comment. I said I'd really like to have some of these in my humidor. Now that I know what they are, I think I got about 10 of these, 10 different cigars from M. Bombay in my humidor.
Thank you.
They're a staple in there.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I do have another comment to follow up with. There's quite a few cigars that I smoke that it produces a lot of saliva, and I end up having to spit or something like that.
Right.
And primarily all of the M. Bombay cigars that I've had, I'm not doing that. It's smooth. It's refreshing. It's one of those cigars that you just enjoy. You're not tackled by the intensity of everything. You're able to discern the flavors and whatnot on pretty much all of your blends. And just as a comment to you, I really appreciate what you're doing with your cigars, with the blends. And every time I get one of the cigars from you, I'm looking forward to it every single time.
And you mentioned the word saliva.
What's that?
And saliva is actually whenever the tobacco has a bit of ammonia left out, where the ammonias are not dried out, you will definitely have that saliva. Saliva is a byproduct when there is when there is a stronger or an acidic substance in your mouth, the salivas automatically come out.
Right.
And you spit.
So you think that that's from the aging process that you guys do? You're able to dry it a little bit
The
longer.
longer you age, like you take any cigar which is acidic in your mouth right now. So
Mhm.
many people put it like acidic as spicy. But like it is not the case. So if you have a cigar which you think is too acidic, you keep it away for 6 or 8 months in your humidor, age it then, and then put it in your mouth. You would not have that.
Excellent. Every one of us pointed out how evenly and smooth the burn was on these.
Oh, cool. Good.
All of them were really. I don't know if you can see this or not, but you see that burn?
Yeah.
I mean, that's to me, that's riding on the edge of perfection, right? Being able to have a burn that is that consistent through the entire cigar, and that is definitely not the case with all of the cigars that I smoke. So
Good.
that's
Thank
a
you.
great testament to what you guys are doing as well.
Good.
Well,
Yeah, Mel, I could say from. Oh, go ahead, Nathan.
To add to that, I would say that one of the staples of M. Bombay cigars is the construction. Every one of them is just about identical and flawless, and it has a unique quality to it. And every one I've had it had a perfect burn, the exact right draw that I want. And I think that goes. I know in our interview we talked about the rolling process and your standards there, and you have it exactly right. You're doing exactly what needs to be done, and it's very well constructed. I'm very impressed, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Nathan. Thank you very much.
Mel, what I got for you, Mel, is judging off some of the comments that we've had.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be back in a second.
Oh, okay. I guess he pressed the wrong button or something like that.
No, I got someone tried to call me. I apologize.
No, that's all right.
No, but judging off of some of the comments that were made, the cigar that we had that you sent in, while none of us knew what it was truly an experience going through it. The transitions were nice and smooth. The construction was really well, and I wanted to commend you on that, because it wasn't just your standard just sitting here, smoke a cigar and evaluate it. It was actually an experience going through it, because the transitions were so smooth and gradual throughout.
Good. I really am honored that you guys like the cigar. And Sean, it is more of a personal or a subjective thing about the transition, about the flavors. But when it comes to people like you, where you do this in and out every day with different cigars, and your palates are proven like that, and you can, sometimes it's even hard for me to even pick up some notes that you might pick up.
Yep.
And once you pointed out it is this, and then I would say, oh yeah, okay, now it comes back to me. But so I really feel honored when people like you kind of like enjoy it and talk about it. That's a lot to a small brand like us. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. I have one more thing for you, and then I'll open up for any final comments that anybody has.
Okay.
Final question that I had was, do you feel like there were any other cigar brands out there that have influenced you to create what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Padron, Ashton VSG, Illusione, Tatuaje. Yeah, Bahia Gold that came out in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say Davidoff, Colorado Claro also.
Awesome. So
those are, the variation. I'm not trying to say I'm trying to copy it, but when I sit down and taste a blend, these 4 or 5 cigars come in my mind. Okay, what is different from that? What is not different from that? So it helps. It helps. And I would not use the word standards, but of course, when we're talking about products from these people, they have proven themselves from from day one, their quality, their deliverance. So, yes, I would say, those are the standards that I would try to reach.
Okay. So based on that, guys, did you feel any influences based on what we smoked today from anything else? Could you see some of those influences?
Personally, I think it's a unique smoke. It's a smooth, aged tobacco flavor that I get from a lot of the Mbombays, or at least the ones that we've tried, which I do attribute to Padron. They're known for their smooth tobacco flavor.
Mm-hmm.
There's no young or fresh taste to it. I definitely think you nailed it when it came to getting that aged tobacco flavor and that smooth taste. It's a really good job.
Good.
Awesome. So anybody have any final comments for Mel or for our cigar?
Mel,
Anybody want their money back?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But Mel, I would like to say that in the time that I've been doing reviews, that I haven't found anybody more generous than you. You're more open. We can talk to you, and you're accessible, and I appreciate it.
Anytime, guys. Anytime. If you have any other question, I did mention it to Stefan that if you want to do one more, or whenever you want, because you guys must have things lined up for you. But whenever we can fit in, please count me in. Whatever you need. Me and Stefan are talking. I'm going to the factory on 7th. If he has time, we can do a kind of like a sit-up and smoke a couple of cigars while I'm at the factory, and you guys are over here. So if you want to know a bit more process of Kesara or Mora, or I'm there on hands-on, and I can touch and feel the tobacco and show it to you that this is what we do.
That for me is
That would be interesting.
That's very cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So and any other thing that you have a question, any queries, any concerns, you guys, I hope you guys have my phone number, my email address, anytime.
Thank you, Mel.
Good.
So,
Thank you very much, Mel.
all right, looks like it's about time for us to wrap it up, gentlemen. I do want to express my personal thanks, along with the panel, Mel, for providing this cigar, giving this the opportunity for us to do this blind Herf. Yeah, we really appreciate you. We appreciate what you're doing, and keep doing it. I want to thank the panelists. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey today. And with that said, I'm Stefan with the Cigar Sticks Alliance. Thank you for joining us with this blind cigar Herf, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank
See y'all
you.
next.